Hello everyone, and welcome to another beer review. Jesus, I've got something in this bloody glasses. Oof. Right, so today we're doing a beer from Yorkshire. So we are, and oh god. Now I'm sure this was bought by Adrian again. It's another Adrian beer, another generous donation. Oh god. Okay, so today we're doing Respire from Black Sheep, and as it says on the label, Carbon Neutral IPA. Because that's exactly what we need. We do. You know, the world's been crying out. There's been far too much carbon going on in the world, you know. Far too much CO2 released, you know. And finally somebody's realised that we really need to make a beer for our Greta. Poor old Greta. She does love an IPA, she really does. But unfortunately she can't drink it because she feels guilty drinking IPA. You see, so Greta's had to do without her IPA until Black Sheep decided to come along and say, we're going to do something about that, Greta. We're going to give you a carbon neutral IPA just for you. So you can feel proud in drinking an IPA again. You don't have to shy away. You don't have to be embarrassed. You too can enjoy an IPA like all the other fuckwits in this world. Right, okay. Jesus God. Right, oh, there's a spill in the back. Oh God, I feel the fucking air source heat pump firing up as I'm ready to speak. Here we go. Respire Carbon Neutral IPA, founded by Paul Thixton, the original Black Sheep. Like a breath of fresh air, but not CO2. Although, wait a minute. Fresh air does have CO2 in it, so it's not carbon neutral. Fuck. Anyway. Respire is a soft and pillowy session IPA laced with juicy notes of citrus and tropical fruits. There you go. All the stuff that Greta loves. And New World hops shine, adding a touch of bitterness, while the pale malt adds a delicate sweetness. Just like our Greta. Find out more about making Respire carbon neutral at Black Sheep IPA. 4%. And there you go. My goodness. Look, it's got everything in there. Look, it's got rainbows. It's got little flowers and toadstools. And this side it's got, buzzy bees. And it's all wonderful. Oh, Jesus. It looks like it's been coloured in by fucking Greta Thunberg. Look at it. Arseholes. Anyway. Seriously. This is the buzzword now, eh? Started off, let's make gluten-free, because the young generation, a lot of them are allergic to gluten. Alright, so we'll do gluten-free beer. Right, okay. Now we're going to do alcohol-free beer, because some of them are allergic to alcohol. Some of them don't like alcohol. Right, okay, right, we'll do alcohol-free beer. Right, now we're going to do beer that doesn't taste of beer, because there's a lot of beer drinkers out there, especially the younger ones, that don't like the taste of beer. You know? And now we're going to make a beer, so basically all these, like, you know, fucking Just Stop Oil protesters and Extinction Rebellion and all that, they can have something to drink, something to kind of quench their thirst when they're actually out on protest. Thank you, Black Sheep, for that one. Seriously, what's the world coming to? What a load of willy pish. See, oh fucking hell, this is, oh jeez. Yep, there we go. Carbon neutral seems to have a little bit too much CO2 in it. It's a little white dome. It's pissed right up over the floor. Sat in the bottom. I'll get on my jeans now. Right, anyway, let's get this poked. God. Carbon neutral, what a load of shit. Seriously. Right, anyway. Looks well carbonated. Plenty of CO2 in it. There's irony. Anyway, maybe that's how they're getting rid of it. We've got an excess of CO2 and that's the best we'll do is put more in the beer and we can just drink it and then fart it out later. Right, for people in the podcast, it's slightly cloudy. It's a bit of one finger ahead. It's kind of straw coloured, straw kind of golden colour, or golden straw colour, depending on which way you want to put it. Yeah, well, get straight away getting citrus. There's a surprise, citrus. Maybe smelling a bit like Greta Thunberg socks, actually. Yeah, a little bit of cheesiness coming through there. And a couple of burst blisters. No, it's just kind of citrus, a little bit of malt there, but it's mostly kind of citrus you're getting there. There's not really that much of an aroma, and the main part of it is a kind of slightly kind of indistinct, kind of citrusy kind of. You could maybe say could be grapefruit, but it really isn't particularly clear. But it is more of a slightly bitterness kind of citrus. It's not a kind of sweet citrus. And yeah, that's really all we're getting. So let's see what Carbon Neutral IPA tastes like. Oh God. It's got quite a clean finish, so it has quite a controlled finish. So it's not a kind of lingering kind of citrus or bitterness or sourness or anything like that. You're not really getting, in fact, you're not even getting much bitterness at all. But you are getting some very distinct levels of citrus in the mid tongue. And I think that's what it is. I mean, you're not going to get, there's not really that much in the front of the mouth. It's all about the mid tongue, and it's all kind of citrus. And then it has quite a quick, clean finish. So there's not really much to talk about apart from the mid tongue. It's all right. Not my first kind of choice, funny enough. Regardless of whether it's carbon neutral or not, I'll be totally honest, I don't give a toss. I find there's more important things in this world. And looking back on how I grew up as a kid and how things have changed, not for the better, then let's be totally honest, I was brought up and taught to live a more of a kind of eco existence, because I think most people did growing up in the kind of 60s and 70s, where, you know, most things were kind of properly kind of recycled anyway. We did have, we didn't use poly bags so much. Most of the times you were utilising brown paper bags. We went to shops like butchers and fruit places and vegetable places that, guess what? They put them in brown bags, so they'd wrap them up in wax paper and things like that. All stuff that's very easily recycled and things like that. And of course, in general, not so bad for the environment anyway, because they will break down anyway naturally. So they are biodegradable. So it's amazing that, isn't it? And yeah, now we're in a world where basically the best they can come up with is an air source heat pump to help the world. Yeah, there you go. Which, funnily enough, isn't that eco-friendly anyway. Turns out that actually burning local wood is far more beneficial to the environment and has a far lower CO2 rating than an air source heat pump. There you go. My goodness. It shows you what a bunch of arseholes we have basically kind of governing us. But yeah, talk about arseholes. It's okay. Not really my cup of tea, but let's break down these flavours. Right. You start off, you get a little bit of malt, but it's quite light malt. A little bit of grain, not much sweetness. I mean, there really isn't much going on. But just near the end of the front of the mouth, that's when you start getting the citrus hints. And I mean hints, and they're more like a couple of little slaps in the face there, you know, poke in the eye, like, oi, citrus, you know what I mean? Marvellous. Moves on to the kind of mid-tongue, and well, let's have another sip just to confirm it. And yeah, then this is where you start getting all a kind of mixed match of different kind of citrus layers, and that's what it is. It's like, it's not one citrus flavour, it feels like there's 2 or 3 citrus flavours, but again, not particularly clean, not particularly clear, but you feel one of them is going to be kind of a slightly kind of grapefruit edge to it, because there is a bit of bitterness there in the mid-tongue, and I would probably associate that with something kind of more kind of grapefruity. It's a bit gassy as well. Is that really? But yes, yeah, it's not the cleanest of beer, especially in the mid-tongue. There's a bit of kind of multiple citrus flavours, like I said, but they're not particularly clean or clear, and they're not so easily identified or separated. There's a little bit of sweetness there, a little bit of malt, a little bit of grain, but again, it's all about the citrus, and the other kind of main flavours front and centre, with that little bit of bitterness underlying in there as well, which, fun enough, that bitterness dissipates quite quickly as it gets near to the kind of end of the mid-tongue, and is basically gone as it moves over to the back of the mouth and the aftertaste. And yeah, the citrus flavours and everything else kind of all dissipate very, very quickly. It's a very clean finish. It really is. It's gone in the blink of an eye. And yeah, there's no any kind of residual flavours or anything that left over, which is probably a good thing. I don't think there's a kind of, with the flavour profile that this has got, you want any of these flavours really lingering for too long. And yeah, overall, I just think it's all about the label and the hype, to be totally honest. It's quite an uneventful beer, I'll be totally honest. I think even IPA drinkers, really good ones into like this kind of citrus beers, wouldn't be particularly kind of enamoured with this, because I don't think it would be citrusy enough for them, and I don't think it would be clean enough for them. And for kind of more traditional ones that, well, I find more kind of traditional ale drinkers in the UK aren't really into the kind of citrusy beers so much anyway. So this, with the level of citrus it's got, I don't really see this as going to be up the kind of more kind of traditional ale drinkers, kind of a back passage or street, depending on where you live. And yeah, it's just, yeah, it is. It's just, it's really about the virtual signaling, let's be totally honest. I think the beer's kind of secondary. I think it's all about something they can put on the label to kind of appeal to kind of certain demographics. And it is a bit form of virtual signaling. I'll look at it as it's carbon neutral, and that'll be wonderful. And I'm sure this is probably coming down to their kind of new owners. And maybe the new owners feel, well, what we really need to do is we need to appeal to the arseholes, so the young, trendy arseholes, the annoying ones that everybody, when you see them in the news, and they're protesting, and they're offended by this, that, and the other, and all kind of more middle-aged people want to kind of punch them. We want to appeal to that type of demographic. So what do we want to do? Well, we want to have rainbows. We want to have, we want to cover all kind of aspects of these sad fucking bastards' existence by covering carbon neutral, eco-friendly, basically LGBTQ, God knows what other blooming letters are added in there, and symbols and whatever, and that type of stuff. We want to appeal to all that. And yeah, we want to make them feel wanted. We want to make them feel loved, and the only way they can do that is by buying this beer. And we want the beer to taste kind of like a fruit juice, It's all that. It's just virtual signaling. Is it a good beer? Not particularly. Is the carbon neutral nonsense kind of worth anything? No, not really. Let's be totally honest. It's all just corporate shit. You know what I mean? I've worked for corporate companies. I've heard their kind of bullshit bollocks about carbon neutral and all this type of, just fuck off. Seriously, don't waste my fucking time. And yeah, it's all that kind of stuff. So it's like, it's a beer not for us. It's not for traditional ale drinkers. It's definitely not for people of my age and things like that. It's not for the middle-aged drinkers, and it's definitely not for the older drinkers and all that type of stuff. So, yeah, it's supposed to appeal to a kind of younger demographic, which is great. At the end of the day, you drink that, and it means there's more of the good stuff for us. So you keep drinking that shit. Go on, you enjoy that. Buy it in. Aye, stay off the good stuff. Leave it for the people that know what they want. You know. So yeah, what would I give this out of 10? Right. It's alright, it's nothing special. I would probably say at best it's about a 5. It's an average beer. It's 5. It's nothing great, nothing special. It's not particularly wonderfully balanced. It's not really particularly interesting. It's not as if you're feeling good quality ingredients and it's been brewed well and you can identify the flavours. You can't do that. It's just a bit of a kind of a box standard kind of average kind of IPA attempt from a British brewery. You know, it's slightly half-arsed to a degree and really kind of forgettable. So yeah, I would probably say on that basis, you would give it. I would probably normally give this a 5. I don't know what it costs and that type of stuff, but I'm sure probably Carbon Neutral will probably give them an excuse to add fucking more to the price. You know, because at the end of the day, what have they done? Yeah. But anyway, so it's Carbon Neutral. That's the problem. The virtual signalling kind of sticks in my throat, and I can't be arsed with that bollocks. What the fuck's that got to do with it? You know what I mean? Let's be totally honest. So because they're actually kind of virtual signalling and going down the carbon neutral route, then I'm actually going to knock a point off. So I would say normally the beer is nothing special. It's only kind of a 5. But for all the kind of virtual signalling bollocks and all that type of stuff, that I just feel that doesn't really need to be in the beer industry from that point of view. And why is this one suddenly carbon neutral and all the rest aren't? So all the rest don't matter, so we'll just do one that's supposed to be carbon neutral. The rest, well, you know. I mean, his rig welter got carbon neutral on it. I don't remember that being on the label. You know, don't remember the milk stout actually having that on the can either. No, no, you know. So that's what I'm saying. It's just bollocks. So because of that, I'm going to take a point off and get a 4. So there you go. That's what I think of your carbon neutral. It drops a point because that's all you're doing. It's just nonsense. It's just a gimmick. Let's be totally honest. And I'm sure probably Greta Thunberg and all the rest of them probably don't give a shit about it either. Let's be totally honest. So yeah, in my view, you're just a bunch of silly buggers. Really are. And who are you kidding? You're not kidding anybody. You might kid a few of them and that type of stuff, but let's be totally honest. Anybody with a modicum of intelligence are going to think, what a load of shit. And even if you don't have intelligence, you still probably say, what a load of shit. So yeah, it gets 4 out of 10. So there you go. So you've got the wonderful Carbon Neutral IPA. There you go. It's 4%, 500ml bottle. Don't know what it cost because it was donated by Adrian. Thanks, Adrian. And yeah, 4 out of 10. Don't bother. It's just a gimmick. Thanks for watching. Cheers. And bye for now.